Everyone at Westbrook Academy knew one name. Elena Whitmore. At just 17 years old, Elena was the daughter of billionaire businessman Richard Whitmore. She lived in a mansion overlooking the California coast, drove a luxury SUV to school, wore designer clothes, and had access to almost anything money could buy. But there was one thing Elena couldn't buy. Respect. Students whispered about her in hallways. Teachers avoided confronting her. Housekeepers rarely lasted more than a few weeks at the Whitmore estate. And everyone knew the reason. Elena. She could make an employee cry with one sentence. She once fired a private tutor because he gave her a B instead of an A. Another time, she humiliated a young waitress at a charity dinner simply because the girl accidentally spilled water near her designer shoes. Whenever someone complained, Elena's father handled it with money. A phone call. A check. An apology. And everything disappeared. But what nobody knew was that Elena wasn't simply spoiled. She was hiding something. Something that had changed her after her mother's death. 8 years earlier, Elena had watched her mother become seriously ill. For months, she had sat beside her hospital bed. Her mother had promised her, no matter what happens, never let the world make you cruel. But then she died. And Elena's father changed. He became obsessed with protecting his only daughter from pain. Whenever Elena cried, he bought her something. Whenever she got angry, he blamed someone else. Whenever she made a mistake, he fixed it. Without realizing it, Richard had taught Elena a dangerous lesson. Consequences were for other people. Then came the day Lillian Monroe entered her life. Lillian was 18. She wasn't rich. She didn't wear designer clothes. She lived with her grandmother in a small apartment and worked part-time after school to help pay the bills. But Lillian had something Elena had never learned. Courage. The two girls first met at Westbrook Academy on a rainy Monday morning. Lillian accidentally bumped into Elena near the lockers. Elena's phone slipped from her hand. It landed on the floor. Everyone nearby froze. Lillian immediately picked it up. "I'm sorry. I didn't see you." Elena stared at her. "Do you know how much this costs?" Lillian looked at the phone. "Probably more than I make in a month." A few students laughed nervously. Elena didn't. "You should be more careful." "I said I was sorry." Elena stepped closer. "Then prove it." Lillian frowned. "How?" "Buy me a new one." The hallway went silent. Lillian looked at Elena for several seconds. Then she shook her head. "No." Elena's eyes widened. "What did you say?" "I said no." Nobody had ever said that to Elena so calmly. Not her teachers. Not her friends. Not even her father. Elena smiled coldly. "You have no idea who you're talking to." Lillian picked up her backpack. "Actually, I do." She looked Elena directly in the eyes. "You're the girl everyone is afraid of." Then she walked away. For the first time in years, Elena stood speechless. That afternoon, Lillian discovered something strange. Her new part-time job was at the Whitmore estate. She had been hired as a weekend assistant to help with household organization. When she arrived at the mansion, she almost turned around. The place was enormous. Glass walls. Marble floors. Ocean views. Luxury cars. Everything looked perfect. Except the people inside. Nobody smiled. Everyone looked nervous. A housekeeper quietly warned Lillian. "Just stay away from Elena." Lillian smiled. "Why?" The woman looked toward the staircase. "Because everyone who challenges her eventually leaves." Before Lillian could respond, footsteps echoed from upstairs. Elena appeared. She stopped when she saw Lillian. For a moment, neither girl spoke. Then Elena laughed. "You?" Lillian slowly smiled. Apparently. Elena walked closer. You're working here? Yes. Then you'll learn quickly. Learn what? Elena leaned toward her. That nobody tells me what to do. Lillian didn't move. Maybe that's the problem. Elena's smile disappeared. That evening, Elena decided to get rid of her. She intentionally left expensive clothes scattered across the living room. Then she told Lillian to clean everything. Lillian looked at the clothes. Did you leave these here? Yes. Then you should put them away. Elena stared at her. You're the employee. I'm here to help your family, not to become your personal servant. Elena's face hardened. Do you want to keep this job? Lillian smiled. I need the job. Then do what I say. Lillian paused. Then she picked up one dress. She folded it carefully and handed it to Elena. You can start. Elena's mouth fell open. Nobody had ever treated her like an ordinary person. That night, Elena went to her father's office. Dad, fire Lillian. Richard looked up from his computer. Why? Because I don't like her. Richard sighed. Elena. She disrespected me. Richard stared at his daughter. What did she actually do? Elena didn't answer. Richard realized something. For once, someone had refused to obey his daughter. And instead of being angry, he became curious. Lillian stays. Elena's eyes widened. What? I said she stays. Elena stormed out. But she wasn't finished. The next morning, she walked into the kitchen and saw Lillian preparing breakfast. Elena quietly picked up a glass. Then, crash. She dropped it onto the floor. Everyone froze. Elena pointed at the broken glass. Clean it. Lillian looked down. Then back at Elena. No. Elena smiled. I knew you'd say that. She reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone. I recorded you. Lillian looked at the phone. For what? Insulting me. Lillian shook her head. I didn't insult you. You will. Then Elena did something nobody expected. She placed her phone on the counter. And whispered. Let's see how long you last. Lillian stared at her. But instead of walking away, she said something that completely changed Elena's expression. Elena, I know why you do this. Elena froze. You don't know anything about me. Lillian lowered her voice. Then why do you keep a picture of your mother hidden inside your school locker? Elena's face went pale. Nobody knew about that picture. Nobody. Lillian continued. I saw it yesterday. Elena suddenly grabbed her wrist. Don't talk about my mother. Lillian didn't fight back. She simply looked at Elena. Then stop pretending you don't miss her. Elena released her. Her eyes filled with tears. But instead of crying, she ran upstairs. She locked her bedroom door. For the first time in years, the wall she had built around herself began to crack. Then her phone buzzed. A message appeared. Unknown number. Your mother didn't die because of an illness. Elena stared at the screen. Another message arrived. Your father has been lying to you for 8 years. Elena's hands began to shake. Then came the final message. Ask your father what happened the night before your mother died. Elena looked toward the bedroom door. And for the first time in her life, she was afraid of the truth. Elena didn't sleep that night. She sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the 3 messages. Her mother hadn't died from an illness? Her father had lied? It couldn't be true. Or could it? At 7 the next morning, Elena walked downstairs. Her father was sitting at the breakfast table. Dad. Richard looked up. Good morning. What happened to Mom the night before she died? The color disappeared from Richard's face. For several seconds, he said nothing. Then he slowly put down his coffee. Why are you asking? Because someone told me you lied. Richard stood. Who? Elena's eyes filled with tears. That's not the question. Richard walked toward her. Elena, there's something you don't understand. Then explain it. I was trying to protect you. From what? Richard closed his eyes. From the truth. At that moment, Lillian entered the room. She immediately sensed something was wrong. Elena looked at her. You knew. Lillian shook her head. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what. Richard stared at Lillian. How did you find out? Lillian hesitated. Your wife's old attorney contacted me. Richard froze. What? Lillian explained that her grandmother had once worked for Elena's mother. Before her death, Elena's mother had given Lillian's grandmother a sealed envelope. She had instructed her to deliver it to Elena when she turned 17. But her grandmother had been afraid. So she kept it hidden. Until recently. Lillian reached into her bag. She pulled out a small envelope. Elena's name was written across it. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a letter. Her mother's handwriting. My precious Elena, if you're reading this, then you're old enough to know the truth. Elena covered her mouth. She continued reading. Her mother explained that she had discovered serious financial fraud inside Richard's company. Someone close to the family had been stealing millions. She planned to expose it. But before she could, she became mysteriously ill. She never blamed Richard. Instead, the letter revealed that Richard had made a terrible mistake. He had discovered the fraud but chose to hide it to protect the company. He had believed he could fix everything quietly. But the stress and fear surrounding the situation had made his wife's final months even harder. Her last request was simple. Don't let Elena grow up believing money makes her better than other people. Elena broke down. Dad. Richard's eyes filled with tears. I failed both of you. He admitted that after her mother's death, he became terrified of losing Elena too. So he gave her everything. He never said no. He never allowed consequences. He thought he was showing love. But he was creating a daughter who couldn't understand love without control. Elena wiped her tears. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was afraid you'd hate me. Elena looked at him. I don't hate you. She paused. But I hate the person I became. For the first time, Richard hugged his daughter. And Elena didn't pull away. The next morning, something unbelievable happened. Elena walked into the kitchen. The same kitchen where employees had once feared her. She looked at the staff. I'm sorry. Everyone froze. She continued. I treated you like you were beneath me. Her voice cracked. You weren't. She turned toward the chef. I'm sorry for throwing away your food. Then toward the housekeeper. I'm sorry for making you cry. Nobody spoke. Finally, the elderly chef smiled. We forgive you. But Elena knew forgiveness wasn't enough. She needed to change. So she started small. She cleaned her own room. She thanked employees. She stopped using her father's money to solve every problem. She began volunteering at a local community center. And most importantly, she became friends with Lillian. One afternoon, the two girls sat together outside the school. Elena looked at her. Why didn't you give up on me? Lillian smiled. Because I knew you weren't really cruel. How did you know? Because cruel people don't cry alone. Elena laughed through her tears. For the first time in years, it was a real laugh. Months later, Elena stood at a school charity event. She had organized it herself. Instead of spending thousands of dollars on another luxury party, she had raised money for families who couldn't afford school supplies. When she stepped onto the stage, she looked nervous. Then she saw Lillian smiling in the audience. Elena took a breath. I used to think being powerful meant making people afraid of me. The room became silent. Now I understand that real power is making people feel safe. The audience applauded. Her father stood in the back, wiping tears from his eyes. He finally understood something too. He hadn't saved his daughter by giving her everything. He saved her by finally allowing her to become responsible for herself. Later that evening, Elena and Lillian stood outside the mansion overlooking the ocean. Elena smiled. Do you remember the first day we met? Lillian laughed. You tried to make me buy you a new phone. You should have. Absolutely not. Both girls laughed. Then Elena looked toward the house. It was still enormous. Still luxurious. Still filled with things most people could only dream about. But it no longer felt empty. Because the mansion had finally become a home. And Elena Whitmore had finally learned the lesson her mother wanted her to learn 8 years earlier. Money can buy comfort. Power can command obedience. But only kindness can earn respect. And sometimes, the person who changes your life isn't the person with the most money. Sometimes, it's the person brave enough to look at you and say, no. Because they believe you're capable of becoming better. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Hi guys. Thank you for sticking with us so far. Your support has really helped this channel to go a long way. Your likes, your shares, your comments has really helped us to be where we are right now. Thank you so much. Guys, if you have any story you would love us to share, if you have any personal experience that you would love to share with us, please let us know in the comments and we would work on it. Thank you once again for watching this video. Like this video, share this video to your loved ones and subscribe to this channel. See you guys in our next video.